They Shook Hands, Year 1, Chapter 13, Part 2. The mirror? This mirror gives neither wisdom nor truth, Harry. Men have wasted away staring into this mirror. They have become entranced by what they see. Others have been driven mad, not knowing if what they see is real or even possible. The mirror will be moved to a new location tomorrow, Harry, and I must ask that you not go looking for it again. If you ever encounter it again, you will be prepared for its mystique, but it does not do to dwell on dreams. You must never forget to live. Dumbledore got to his feet and Harry did the same. One must also not forget to sleep. Why not put that admirable cloak on and head back downstairs? Harry nodded and turned to go. Professor, he asked, none of what I saw was real, their love, their pride, none of it? Dumbledore's face is unreadable. Your parents loved you, Harry, never doubt that. If they were still alive today, I know they would be proud of you. I don't believe any of those feelings you saw were imagined. That made him feel slightly better. Good night, sir. Good night, Harry. Harry could feel the old man's blue eyes watching him as he left the room. Harry walked back to the dorm slowly. He knew that once he laid down and tried to sleep, he would have to put that mirror out of his thoughts. So he walked slowly, trying to store up the images of his mother and father, holding them in his heart. Trying to sniffle. Sniffling wasn't dignified. Draco was sitting in a chair by the fire when Harry stood back the wall. He turned his head and peered over, trying to find his friend. Harry pulled the cloak off, sat down in the empty chair. "You're back early," Draco said in a neutral tone. "Dumbledore was waiting for me," Harry told him. Draco's eyes grew wide. "Are you in trouble?" Harry shook his head. "No, we had a talk. That is, he talked and I listened." He told me what the mirror is and what it does. He fell silent, his thoughts slipping back to his parents. "Well?" Draco asked after Harry didn't elaborate. He shook himself slightly. "It's called the Mirror of Eyes. It shows you the thing you want more than anything else. Dumbledore said he wanted to see in ways that Elon hasn't, so that's why you're Quidditch captain holding the cup. And what you want more than anything is your family," Draco said, understanding. Harry nodded, his thoughts drifting again. He said it gives neither wisdom nor truth. This is neither wisdom nor truth. People have died because they sat in front of it for days and weeks and just let themselves go. Other people have gone mad. "Wow," Draco breathed. "Are you going to go mad too?" "I hope not," Harry said. Dumbledore told me that the mirror is being moved, and he told me not to go looking for it again. He said it wasn't good to get lost in dreams. "Certainly not," Draco agreed. Harry got to his feet. "I think I'm going to bed," he said. Draco stood as well. "I'm going to sleep late come morning," he announced. "I'm waiting up all night for someone." He poked Harry in the shoulder. Harry got into his pajamas and lay down in bed. He could still see his parents, the tears in his mother's cheeks, the pride in his father's eyes. The images in the mirror had filled him with such longing, which has made all the worse for knowing what it could never be. He lay awake for a long time, listening to the soft sounds Draco's breathing, the only sound in the dorm. He stared up at his canopy, wishing desperately sleep would come and banish the images. Finally, when we had all but given up hope, he closed his eyes and slept. His dreams were terrible. He never dreamed of his parents before, for he did not remember them. Now he knew their faces, and those faces haunted his slumber. He dreamed of a house, a cozy home filled with love and light. Then a storm would come, darkness would fall, and the door would burst open to admit a tall, cloaked figure. There would be a flash of green light, and his parents would vanish while a high-pitched, insane laugh echoed all around. He came half awake, shuddered, and sank back down to his knee, back down to darkness. His dream was not changed, only repeated. Harry screamed to his head and came awake to find out that he was still screaming. Draco was sitting on his bed, shaking him. Harry closed his mouth and dragged his knees into his chest. "Bad dream?" Draco asked him. Concern was etched on his face. Harry nodded, and Draco put an arm around his friend. He didn't say anything else. They sat together until the sun rose and Harry squeezed his friend's arm before he got to go shower. He was a bit more animated that day. He considered learning the basics of chess from Draco, told him that Theo could teach him more, but if he wanted to excel, he should ask Elon for instruction. The pair played assorted card games to pass the time. His nightmares returned that night. Everything was the same, including being shaken away by Draco a few hours before dawn. When Harry told him all about the dreams, all Draco could say was, maybe Dumbledore was right. Maybe that mirror really can drive you mad. With the week left before term started, the Slytherin dorm suddenly came back to life as some of the first-year students returned to school. Tracy was pleased to see that Harry wasn't dressed like a slob anymore. Millie started the snowball fight with him and Draco that turned into a wrestling match which Harry lost. Theo returned drinking about the mirror when he was told, and he reported no success in determining Flammel's identity. Elon brought back a message from Mr. Malfoy that while he was very angry that Draco skipped out on the holiday, especially without discussing his plans beforehand, he understood that he respected Draco's decision to stay at school. In a somewhat dry manner, he inquired that Draco was staying at the school over the Easter holiday as well. When they first heard his nocturnal screams that night, his friends had varied reactions. Crabbe dove under his bed, convinced the world was ending. Will grabbed his wand and jinxed everything to cast the shadow in the moonlight. Theo had to practically be dried off in the ceiling of the room. Elon, Abraham, and Peter Cable came running with their wands in hand, ready to come out whatever foul beast they were certain was murdering the first years in their beds. Draco explained everything to them, and a silencing charm was placed over on the room. It was deemed essential to peace and order in the house, especially for the frightened second years the next room over. When classes started again, it was a relief for Harry to be back in his routine. When he studied long into the night, he didn't dream and he didn't wake up screaming. That was a relief for both him and his roommates. The month of January passed a little note until one Friday evening when the first years were lounging into the common room. Nobody wanted to study because there were too much excitement about tomorrow's Quidditch match between Ravenclaw and Hufflepuff. Harry didn't get won the game, well, he planned to attend anyway. He wanted to go mostly because it was about Quidditch and probably partially because it would be good for him to study both teams and their seekers. The usual debate was going hot and heavy when Harry opened up a chocolate frog, one of the many received from the Crabbe and Goyle for Christmas. He snatched the frog out of Drake midair as he tried to jump away and bit off one of the legs. He swallowed it, still squirming, and giggled as it tickled his insides. He looked at the card to see Dumbledore again. He sighed, for he already had the old wizard's card, and he hoping for Platomy. He flipped over the card, read it back, and froze. He read it again, and certain his eyes were playing tricks on him. No, it was correct. Draco, he hissed. Look, Harry shoved the card in front of his friend's nose. What do I care about Dumbledore the Muggle? Draco trailed off as he read the card. Blow me. What is it? Theo asked curiously. Dumbledore was partly famous for his defeat of the Dark Wizard Grindelwald in 1945, for discovering the 12 uses of dragon's blood, and was working out alchemy with his partner Nicholas Flamel. Draco said with awe in his voice. Lord blimey, Harry, you've done it. Let me see, Theo demanded, reaching for the card. Damn, I knew that name. I knew he was on a card, too. Shut your cake hole, Pansy sneered at him. You didn't know any such thing, or we'd have the puzzle solved by now. Our major problem in all of this has been going about it ours about face, Millie said. Finding just a name is impossible as he found out. With a little more information, we should have no troubles. Theo glowered at Pansy. It's too late to go to the library now, he said, but first thing tomorrow I'll check. We checked the library 1,000 times, she said, still sounding very obnoxious. Yes, but now we know what area of magic to look through, he replied. There was a section of the library devoted to alchemy, which you knew if you ever spent any time actually studying when you go there. Pansy was going to turn red. Belt up, you tosser. Well, just because you have nothing to say, you waffle so much, no one gets a word in edgewise. Why not throw a wobbly if you're going to cry about it, Theo suggested. I'm sure that would really impress our housemates. We shouldn't have any trouble, Tracy chimed in during the pair trading, and so it's a good thing for us Theo is stressed out with the library. Draco blinked owlishly. What? Never you mind, she pouted, her lower lip sticking out. The search could take a while, Millie pointed out. We should all go, and after the Quidditch match. Yes, quite, Harry agreed. You might just want to just watch the match, but we got to study it. Our match against Ravenclaw isn't all that far off. After lunch, then, Draco decided. We all know what Flamel is all about by dinner. Their plan made, the conversation driven onto other topics. Everyone watches Theo and Pansy traded barbs and jibes for about 15 minutes without once repeating themselves or to each other. While it was educational, Harry soon grew tired of their squabbling, went to take a shower before bedtime. Later on, when he was lying in bed, he thought he'd never get to sleep. The answer was close, he could feel it. Maybe once he knew why Flamel was so important, they know what was bed in the school. Once they knew that, maybe you know why someone tried to kill him. He was anxious, but he slept, and he didn't dream. So yeah, that's chapter 13 of They Shook Hands, year 1. Take care, everybody. Another video from my Storytime channel.